In the vibrant heart of New York City, where skyscrapers pierce the heavens and power governs all, two lives from opposite worlds are about to be bound by fate in an unexpected romance. Gabriel Cole, a 36-year-old CEO, is the epitome of success. As the head of Cole Industries, a vast conglomerate spanning finance, technology, and real estate, Gabriel personifies power and precision. His life is a carefully constructed masterpiece, with every decision meticulously calculated to maximize profit and control. Yet behind his cold, flawless exterior lies a man weighed down by expectations. The board of directors demands an image of stability, urging Gabriel to take the next logical step: a wife. On the other side of the city, Sophia Green, a 24-year-old aspiring environmental scientist, spends her days tutoring children and tending to the gardens alongside her father, Henry. Burdened by the lingering medical debts of her late mother and her father's declining health, Sophia has all but given up on her dream of higher education. When Gabriel's gaze falls upon Sophia in the estate's garden, her quiet beauty and unassuming joy illuminate a long-forgotten corner of his heart. In that fleeting moment, a seed of an idea is planted, an arrangement that could change their lives forever, though at an unthinkable cost. Gabriel Cole's day began early as always with precision and purpose. As the first rays of sunlight poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse in the heart of Manhattan, he stood for a moment, gazing at the city below. The bustling streets and vibrant life seemed like another world, one he controlled from above but could never truly belong to. The view was breathtaking, yet strangely hollow, much like the carefully curated life he had built. From the tailored Italian suits hanging in his walk-in closet to the minimalist yet luxurious decor of his home, everything about Gabriel's life was polished, structured, and meticulously controlled. Yet, much like his surroundings, his world felt cold and devoid of warmth. At 36, Gabriel was the CEO of Cole Industries, a conglomerate that dominated multiple sectors. Since inheriting the company from his father 7 years ago, Gabriel had doubled its profits, earning a reputation as a ruthless and brilliant businessman. But beneath the veneer of success lay mounting pressure. The board of directors, led by his father, Edward Cole, frequently reminded Gabriel of the importance of appearances. That morning during breakfast, Edward addressed him with his usual stern gaze. "Gabriel, the upcoming expansion is critical. But numbers alone won't win investors over. Stability matters just as much." Gabriel placed his coffee cup down, his tone calm but firm. "The numbers speak for themselves, Father. My personal life has no bearing on the company's performance." Edward's expression darkened as he slammed his hand on the table. "You're naive if you think that. Investors want to see a man with a family, a wife, a home. That's a symbol of commitment and reliability. A bachelor at your age sends the wrong message." Gabriel remained silent, but his mind was already at work. If marriage was truly necessary to secure the company's future, then it would be handled like any other deal, efficiently and without emotion. Yet the thought of marrying someone from his social circle filled him with disdain. In his world, relationships were nothing more than power plays and strategic alliances. No, he needed someone different. Someone outside the games of wealth and influence. Someone simple and unassuming. As his thoughts drifted, he recalled the image of Sophia Green, the gardener's daughter whose quiet beauty and natural grace had caught his attention. Perhaps she was exactly what he needed to complete his plan. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Sophia Green's day began as it always did, filled with work in the estate's vast garden. With practiced hands, she meticulously trimmed the golden leaves and adjusted the flower beds. This was her sanctuary, a place of peace amidst the chaos and struggles of her daily life. Nearby, her father, Henry Green, worked on fixing a trellis for the climbing vines. At 62, his hands bore the marks of a lifetime of hard work, and his kind eyes sparkled with pride every time he looked at Sophia. But age was catching up with him. His stooped back and persistent morning coughs worried her more than she let on. The weight of their financial burdens, medical debts left behind after her mother's passing, seemed to grow heavier with each passing day. "Sophia," Henry called gently, his voice tinged with concern, "you don't have to work so hard. You should be focusing on your dreams." Sophia paused, brushing dirt from her hands, and smiled softly. "I'm fine, Dad. The garden feels like home. I love it here." But deep down, she knew her dream of becoming an environmental scientist felt more distant with every bill that arrived. As Sophia knelt to tend to a patch of flowers, a deep, unfamiliar voice startled her. "You really care about this work, don't you?" She turned and was taken aback to see Gabriel Cole, the owner of the estate, standing behind her. He looked completely out of place in the garden, his tailored suit and piercing gaze a stark contrast to the simplicity surrounding him. "I apologize if I startled you," Gabriel continued, his tone measured but firm. "I believe we need to talk." "About what, Mr. Cole?" Sophia asked cautiously, wiping her hands on her apron as her guard went up. Gabriel stepped closer, his expression unreadable. "I have a proposal for you. Something that could change your life and your father's life forever." Sophia stared at Gabriel, his words hanging heavily in the air. "A proposal to change my life?" she repeated, her voice filled with skepticism. Gabriel nodded, his piercing gaze never leaving hers. "Yes, I need a wife for 1 year. In return, I'll pay off all your father's debts, ensure he can retire comfortably, and provide you with the financial means to pursue your dreams." The ground beneath Sophia seemed to shift. 1 year? Marrying a man she barely knew? She clenched her hands, trying to steady herself. "Why me? You could choose anyone." "Precisely because you're not like anyone else," Gabriel replied, his tone calm but deliberate. "In my world, every relationship is a chess game, every move calculated. I've had enough of alliances disguised as love. This is purely a transaction, a contract. You're simple, honest, and that's exactly what I need." "And simplicity?" Sophia echoed, her pride stung. But as she thought of her father, the relentless coughs, the sleepless nights spent worrying over bills, her heart ached. That evening, Sophia sat across from her father at their small kitchen table. She held Gabriel's business card, the numbers printed on it burning into her palm. "You can't agree to this, Sophia," Henry said, his voice trembling with anger and concern. "This is your life, not a business deal." "But Dad," Sophia replied, her eyes filling with tears, "I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for you. You've sacrificed everything for me. I can't let you keep living like this." Henry fell silent, his love for his daughter warring with his helplessness. Finally, he whispered, "If this is your choice, Sophia, promise me one thing. Don't lose yourself in his world." Tears streaming down her face, Sophia nodded. She picked up the phone, dialed, and whispered, "Mr. Cole, I accept." 1 week after accepting Gabriel Cole's proposal, Sophia Green stepped into his Manhattan penthouse, a place so opulent it felt like stepping into another world. Standing on the marble floor, she gazed around at the enormous windows framing a stunning view of the city skyline, the pristine furniture, and the grand piano placed elegantly in the corner of the living room. Gabriel approached her, his demeanor polite yet distant. "Everything has been prepared. This will be your home for the next year." Sophia forced a small smile. "Thank you, Mr. Cole." "Call me Gabriel," he corrected before turning away. "Mrs. Elisa, the housekeeper, will guide you through the schedule and the house rules." The days that followed were a whirlwind of adjustment. Sophia was thrown into etiquette lessons, learning everything from how to arrange cutlery at a formal dinner to the proper way to greet dignitaries at high society events. Under the sharp gaze of Mrs. Elisa, every small mistake was immediately corrected. "No, Miss Green," Mrs. Elisa said with a disapproving shake of her head. "You must sit with your back straighter. Posture is everything." In addition to lessons, Sophia faced an intimidating wardrobe overhaul. Luxurious designer dresses, towering heels, and accessories that felt foreign to her. "I look ridiculous," Sophia thought as she stared at her reflection, feeling like a stranger in her own skin. Amidst the unfamiliar, Sophia found solace in the rooftop garden. One afternoon, as she knelt to plant new flowers, she was startled by Gabriel's sudden presence beside her. "You really enjoy gardening, don't you?" he asked, his gaze lingering on her dirt-streaked hands. Sophia glanced up, slightly embarrassed. "Yes, it's where I feel most at peace." Gabriel was silent for a moment, then spoke softly. Make this garden your own. Do whatever you want with it." Sophia looked at him in surprise, sensing a hint of warmth behind his otherwise cold exterior. For the first time, she felt as though there was more to Gabriel Cole than the detached businessman she had agreed to marry. The wedding day arrived faster than Sophia could have anticipated. As she stood in the lavish bridal suite, adjusting the delicate silver necklace her mother had left her, she couldn't shake the feeling of being an outsider. Everything around her, from the pristine gown to the opulent venue, felt like a role she was playing, not a life she belonged to. But as she took a deep breath and stepped out, she reminded herself of why she was doing this: her father's peace and her dreams of a better future. The ceremony was held in a private, luxurious room at a high-end Manhattan hotel, lit by the soft glow of crystal chandeliers, exuding both grandeur and intimacy. Sophia wore a simple yet elegant white gown, understated but beautiful. Her late mother's silver necklace was the only connection she carried from her old life. As she walked into the small venue, her heart raced when her eyes landed on Gabriel. He stood tall in a flawless black suit, exuding confidence. He looked as though he was signing a business deal, not participating in a life-changing event. The guest list was minimal, consisting of her father, Gabriel's Aunt Eleanor, and a few executives from Cole Industries. The judge presiding over the ceremony spoke in a monotonous tone, devoid of sentiment. "When I say I do, it'll be over," Sophia told herself, feeling as though the room was closing in. "Do you, Gabriel Cole, take this woman?" the judge began. "I do," Gabriel replied, his voice cool and decisive. Sophia steadied herself when her turn came. Taking a deep breath, she whispered, "I do." The rings were exchanged, the documents signed, and polite applause filled the room. But Sophia couldn't shake the feeling that this was all just a well-rehearsed performance. Gabriel leaned down, his lips brushing hers in a kiss that was light, almost calculated, just enough to satisfy the formality. There was no love, but there was a beginning, one that blurred the lines between fiction and reality. As time passed, Sophia gradually adjusted to her new life, but the rooftop garden remained her sanctuary. One afternoon, as she carefully tended to the newly planted flowers, she looked up to find Gabriel standing nearby, silently observing her. "You've turned this garden into something beautiful," he remarked, his deep voice carrying a note of genuine admiration. Sophia chuckled softly, brushing a bit of dirt from her cheek. "I'm just doing what I love. This is the one place where I feel free." Gabriel stepped closer, his gaze softer than she had ever seen it. "Free," he repeated, as though he were weighing the word. "I've never thought of freedom in that way before." In that moment, Sophia saw a different side of Gabriel, not the powerful CEO, but a man carrying his own unseen burdens. "I could show you how it feels," she said quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. "If you're willing to try." Gabriel's lips curved into a faint smile, not one of courtesy or calculation, but something real. "Maybe I will." In that quiet moment, something shifted between them. It was subtle, but undeniable. A connection neither of them had expected, but couldn't ignore. Things seemed to be settling into a rhythm, but life rarely followed the script we hoped for. One evening, as Sophia and Gabriel shared a quiet dinner, his phone buzzed. Gabriel answered, and his expression immediately darkened. "I'll be there right away," he said tersely, hanging up. Turning to Sophia, his voice was heavy with worry. "It's my father. He's been admitted to the hospital, a heart attack." Sophia stood without hesitation. "Do you want me to come with you?" Gabriel hesitated for only a moment before nodding. "I think I'd like that." At the hospital, tension filled the air. Gabriel's father, Edward, was in the intensive care unit. In the waiting room, Sophia encountered Eleanor, Gabriel's sharp-tongued aunt with an air of calculated malice. "Oh, you must be Sophia," Eleanor said, her smile as icy as her tone. "Gabriel certainly knows how to pick them. A simple girl, no complications. But don't think I don't know about your little arrangement." Sophia froze, her heart pounding. "I don't know what you mean." "Don't play coy, dear," Eleanor hissed, her voice cutting like a blade. "A marriage of convenience. Don't think it will last. When the time is up, you'll have nothing." Gabriel returned just in time, his gaze narrowing as he noticed the unease on Sophia's face. "Eleanor," he said sharply, "she's here for me, stay out of it." But Eleanor's words had planted a seed of doubt in Sophia's mind. Could she truly survive in this world where everything was a game of power and influence? After a long night at the hospital, Gabriel and Sophia returned to the penthouse. The air between them was heavier than ever. Eleanor's words echoed in Sophia's mind, stirring doubts she couldn't ignore. "Do you know what your aunt said to me?" Sophia asked, her voice trembling but determined. Gabriel paused, his exhaustion evident in his eyes. "I know she tried to unsettle you, but Sophia, it doesn't matter. We made an agreement and I intend to honor it." "That's all this is to you? An agreement?" Sophia's voice cracked as she looked at him, tears threatening to fall. "Don't you feel anything? Because I think I've started to." Gabriel stood silent, battling the walls he had built around his heart. For years, those walls had shielded him from pain, from vulnerability. But as he looked at Sophia, the woman who had brought warmth and life into his carefully controlled existence, those walls began to crumble. "Sophia," he said softly, his voice raw, "I don't know what this is, but I do know one thing. I don't want to lose you." Sophia stepped closer, her heart aching at his words. "Neither do I, but only if you're willing to live honestly with your heart." Gabriel nodded slightly, as though finally understanding what he had been missing all along. A week after Gabriel's father stabilized, Sophia received a message from Gabriel inviting her to the rooftop garden that afternoon. When she arrived, she was surprised to find him standing beside a young sapling planted in the center of the garden she had poured her heart into. "What's this?" Sophia asked, her voice filled with curiosity. Gabriel turned, a rare soft smile gracing his usually serious face. "This tree is a symbol of a new beginning, for what we can build together. Not out of obligation, but out of something real." Sophia stood still, warmth spreading through her chest. "You've changed, Gabriel. You're not the man I first met." Gabriel nodded, stepping closer. "And that's because of you, Sophia. You've shown me something I forgot long ago: patience, love, and the courage to trust." She looked up at him, her eyes shining. "I think we found something we didn't even realize we needed, a reason to believe." Gabriel extended his hand, and Sophia took it, feeling the sincerity in his touch. Together they knelt to plant the tree, their hands brushing as they worked the soil around it. That small, shared act carried a silent promise. They would nurture not just the garden, but the bond they had begun to grow. Above them, the setting sun bathed the sky in golden hues, as if offering its blessing for the new chapter they were about to write. Two souls, once lost, now finding their way together.